Hi, this is Abhishek, and today I'm going to show how to deploy Jenkins and how to deploy a job on Jenkins that would provision a VM and deploy application iTrust on the VM. So, let me explain my environment. My host machine is the Ansible controller, and the remote machine is a Jenkins server, and the job runs on the remote server Jenkins jobs, and it will provision a VM on AWS. mm, on AWS that would have the iTrust application deployed. So this is my playbook to deploy Jenkins. So these are the ports, one for SSH and for the Ansible connection to go through, and one for the Jenkins to run on the web API of the Jenkins runs on 8080 port. And these are the Jenkins various Jenkins plugins that I'd be using. So and these are the packages required. So I'll be installing all the packages and a username and password. I'll be creating a user and password for Jenkins. I'll install npm java 8 and maven, and this is for installing Jenkins, and this is for installing Jenkins CLI. And using the initial admin password, I'll create a new user and password which I'll be using to create jobs. So this is my Jenkins installation, and this is a playbook to create deploy a job on Jenkins that would that would later deploy a VM on AWS, and that would be deploying iTrust on top of the VM. So this is using the credentials created in the previous playbook. I'd be creating a job, using a template, and the job would be called iTrust. That's the type over there, and the job would be called iTrust, and a job would be created. And once the job is deployed, in the post build of the job, I would be running this playbook, which would be actually the task of this playbook would be deploying a VM on AWS and EC2 instance, and on top of that instance, I fetch the public IP of that instance, and then deploy iTrust on top of it. For iTrust, the required packages are um, Oracle J and Java 8, MySQL, Apache Tomcat, and the JDBG connector between Java and MySQL. And once I have all of them installed, I'll be generating war files which Tomcat would be using, which MVN compile war would generate the war files, and then Tomcat I start the Tomcat so that I could see the application on the web browser. So let me start the Jenkins deployment. So this is the Jenkins deployment, a user for Jenkins. Oh, there are a lot of plugins. Let me pause for a minute. Yes, and as you could see, all the required plugins for Jenkins have been installed, and the Jenkins playbook has been successful. Let us check if Jenkins has been installed. Jenkins runs on port 8080. So these are the credentials which I have created. So Jenkins has been installed. Let us run the playbook that would create a job on Jenkins. Enter the credentials, and this is the git repo from which the code is being fetched. And a code uh, a job has been deployed. Let us check that on. So there's no auto refresh. There you go. You could see job has been deployed, and let us see the build configuration of that. Before we build, let us check out the configuration. As you could see, I'm using the git repo, and the build configuration has mvn compile, and the post build would be running a playbook which I've shown earlier. So now, without any changes, since I've already built the code, let me go to the console output. See, as you could see, the build has been successful and mvn compile has been run, and now the Ansible playbook provision that iTrust is being run, which actually provisions a new instance on top of AWS. Currently, it's launching a new instance. Let's just look at AWS. So there is no instance currently. So here you go. A new instance is being launched by the playbook, and I've tagged it with the name iTrust in the playbook. So now let us see. Yes, now the SSH connection would take some time to come up. So let me pause the video for a second. As you could see, the post build playbook has run and the build has been successful, and the post build task has been successful, and the public IP of the AWS instance is this thing. And let us check if um, iTrust has been deployed over this machine. So let us see the instance on AWS console. See here I have an instance with the public IP 52. Now let us check if I can access it. 52. There you go. There you go. I can access the iTrust application on the remote AWS machine. Thank you.